Alrighty, people, welcome back to the channel. It's Amiibo here. Today, we're going to be taking a look at all of the physical PS5 games releasing in December. Let's get into it. Okay, so welcome back to the channel. Usually I do these every month for Switch games, and I posted that video yesterday for Switch games in December. However, I've been getting more and more into PS5 collecting, and I thought maybe we could start doing this for PS5 as well. Maybe there'll be some overlap, maybe we won't continue this into future months, but I figured we try it out for December, even though December is a lighter month overall. By my count, there's about 14 games releasing physically at retail in December for PS5, not counting limited run or like, you know, special rare games and all that kind of stuff, right? But going on GameStop here, as well as a couple other outlets or retailers, there are, by my count, 14 games releasing in December for PS5, and definitely some more interesting things than on Switch. Switch is having a pretty barren month outside of a few things. I think the PS5 is a little bit more interesting, though. Starting off here, we have Diesel Legacy: The Brazen Age on PlayStation 5 from Modus Games, releasing for $29.99 on December 3rd, so tomorrow when you're watching this video. The description here reads, Diesel Legacy is a hand-drawn 2v2 fighting game, 4 players on 2 teams. Each beautiful stage features 3 lanes to freely move between, and even when a player is defeated, their fight isn't over. Work together to extend combos, parry attacks from beyond the grave, channel your essence to assist your teammates, and secure the double knockout. So this is a pretty interesting online multiplayer beat 'em up. It's not like an actual like traditional fighting game because it has like the lanes you would see in like a Streets of Rage or something, right? But it's a 2v2 fighting game in that style. Definitely something I haven't really seen before in this way, having the lanes. You know, almost like a Dragon's Crown, you know, kind of beat 'em up style, but it is a 2v2 online multiplayer game. So that's releasing on December 3rd. You might want to keep an eye out for that. We also have a Raven's Watch Legendary Edition releasing on December 5th for $39.99 from Nacon. This is a top-down roguelike action game that combines intense real-time combat with deep gameplay and high replay value. After the success of Curse of the Dead Gods, Pastech returns with a new formula and game experience that can be played solo or with up to 4 players and co-op. So that's something I'm noticing here because I recorded the Switch video last night. I'm seeing a lot more online games already, like a lot more like multiplayer kind of style games releasing on PS5 versus the Switch, which is funny. This kind of has like that Hades look to it, co-op roguelike. I mean, there's so many of these games, it's hard to keep up with them. You know, if I wanted to play a game like this right now, I would probably just go back and play more Hades, or, you know, I'm still waiting for Hades 2 to come to console. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are people that are craving even more of this. And, you know, it's from the people that made Curse of the Dead Gods, which I know was pretty popular back when that released. Yeah, this is one I would probably pass on, even though it does look high quality. And now we have to talk about one of the weirdest releases of the month, but my most anticipated release of December on PS5, and that is Fantasian Neo Dimension. I talked about this in the Switch video yesterday. This game seems to have a weird release where it's only available on Amazon, on Video Games Plus, and on the Square Enix store. You cannot buy this game at GameStop. You cannot buy it at Best Buy. At least at the time of recording, it has not popped up on those retailers. So I don't know if Square Enix is doing a lower print run for this game compared to their other smaller, mid-budget releases or what. I don't know if this is going to be a rare game or what's going on with it, but it is a little bit more limited, seemingly, at least where it's available. So if this is one you're interested in, I would say maybe get it sooner than later, just because I don't trust Square Enix sometimes, but also a lot of their games do get cheap. Like, you think of like Diofield Chronicle, and I thought that could end up being a rare PS5 game or something, and that's like worthless. You know, it's like a $20 game. So maybe Fantasian will see a similar fate, but I'm very excited for this. This is, of course, the Apple Arcade game finally coming over to console from the creator of Final Fantasy, Hironobu Sakaguchi, with the composer of Final Fantasy, Nobuo Uematsu, coming back to return a masterful soundtrack for this game. So this is a really beautiful game too. It uses like these 3D miniatures and like realistic looking backgrounds for the characters to kind of run around on. So the game looks visually really, really cool. I really love the art style they're going for here, and this is definitely my most anticipated game of December. But I talked about that in the Switch video. I'm going to be playing it on Switch probably, unless Square Enix sends your boy a review code. We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely one I have my eye on. On December 5th, though, that same day, we have a Plague Tale collection for $49.99. This is one that's I already have these games individually. I know a lot of people go for like the different variants of games they love. Cool that this is getting a dual pack, and if this ends up being mass produced, you know, I could imagine that's going down to like $20 eventually, and that'll be such a cheap way to get into a Plague Tale. I've only played Innocence. I need to play Requiem. I do have Requiem. I think I paid full price for that game, which is kind of rough because that game is very cheap now. But Plague Tale Innocence is awesome. I love that game, and to have both of them available in this kind of cool 2-pack here is very nice. So if you have not played a Plague Tale, if you like stuff like Last of Us, I would say very similar, and you have like these weird powers where you can like control rats and stuff. It's a very, very cool game. Definitely recommend it if you enjoy a good story and also some nice like stealth gameplay. It wasn't really on my radar until Requiem was coming out, and I was like, you know, I really should play Innocence. And that game kind of blew me away when I played it on PS5 back in, I want to say 2021. So So definitely recommend this if you have not checked those out. Although also, I think you can probably get them both independently, separately, like as standalone releases for around the same price. I think Innocence at one point was a little bit harder to find on PS5, but I think they did reprint it. It was also free on PS Plus at some point. So if you haven't played Plague Tale, I totally recommend it. Maybe buying this collection wouldn't be the best way to go about it, though, to be honest. Next up, we have Rugrats Adventure in Gameland from Limited Run Games. Now, I mentioned it in yesterday's video. I'm not sure. I think this was already released through Limited Run, like on their website, and if you pre-ordered it there, you could already have a copy, but now it's getting a more wide release on Switch and PS4 at most retailers, including GameStop here. So this is releasing on December 6th for $39.99. This is a 2D kind of retro-style platformer starring the Rugrats. I grew up with Rugrats. I love Rugrats. I don't think this game looks very good. It does have a banging soundtrack, though. You got the Boss Baby fight from that one episode, which is very eerie, and you got Reptar in there and everything. They also have this like cool 8-bit like NES or like Game Boy Color style graphics mode. I think you can switch between it at any point, I'm pretty sure. It is co-op as well, so if you're looking for something fun to play with the family over the holiday period, that might be one to keep an eye out for. But I think for $40, that's just not, it's not for me, man. Similarly, we also have Dogman Mission Impossible for $39.99 the same day on December 6th from Mindscape. There's that new Dogman movie coming out from DreamWorks next month, I think at the end of January, and this is just a pretty simple 2D platformer. Dogman is, I read Captain Underpants growing up. I never read Dogman. I don't know if Dogman was even a thing when I was younger, but it's from the same creator, has that same art style, and it looks pretty charming. I mean, looking at it, like, this isn't something I would play, but it does look to be like a pretty high-quality platformer for kids. It says here there's over 50 levels. It doesn't look like this is a multiplayer game, which is kind of surprising. You would think this would be like a multiplayer platformer, but also, I guess, the entire plot of Dogman is that, like, the dog and the cop get combined because they get in an accident or something, right? So I guess there's only really one character that they could have used. I don't know anything about Dogman. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't read the comic. But that is coming out on December 6th. Then that same day, we have an interesting release from Skybound Games. We have Predator Hunting Grounds releasing for $39.99. This one is weird to me because Predator is on PS4. Sony published Predator on PS4. I think something must have happened where maybe they sold the rights to the game back to, I guess, Skybound or something along those lines, because, it came to PC, and now it's getting this PS5 physical release. I think it already has a PS5 digital upgrade. I'm not sure if you need to pay for that upgrade. On the box here, it says, of course, internet access required and PlayStation Plus required to play this game, because it is an online-only game. That's one of those, like, asymmetrical multiplayer games where one player plays with the Predator, and I think 4 other people are trying to take down the Predator. I bought this on PS4 when it was on sale for like, I think $10 a couple years ago, and I never played it. I'm not sure if the servers are even still active anymore, but it is something I was always interested in. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Predator movie, but I thought this game looked pretty cool, and they announced it at I want to say a State of Play or something back in like 2020 maybe. But this is getting a physical PS5 release, and I just don't know if this would get rare necessarily or anything, but if you're a Predator fan, this is definitely a cool like collector's piece just to have a nice Predator game on PS5, even if it is the same game on PlayStation 4, so that might be of interest to you. Then I mentioned this in yesterday's video as well. We have Little Big Adventure Twinson's Quest Limited Edition. Comes with like a lenticular card, digital art book, digital OST, as well as an exclusive outfit. This is like a top-down isometric puzzle game with I don't know. I'm not sure if I love the art style, but it's solid, and that's releasing for $40 on December 12th. That same day, though, we have Raging Bites from Axis for $29.99, and this is a story-driven zombie RPG full of drama and pixels is how they describe it. I think when I talked about it in yesterday's video, I like glanced over the fact that it's an RPG. I'm not sure, is it like, when you say RPG, what do you mean? What does that mean anymore? What do you mean it's an RPG? It's not turn-based. I think it is just like you're leveling up your character, probably have stat points, that kind of thing. But it has nice pixel art. I love zombie media, and if the story is actually good, this is definitely one I would maybe keep an eye out for when it's like $15 on Switch or something like that, I think. Then on December 12th, that same day, we have, I'd say, probably the biggest physical release on PS5 for the month of December, one I will definitely be picking up. Maybe not at release, but when it goes on sale a little bit, and that is a Black Myth Wukong getting its physical release from PM Studios and Game Science. Of course, $64.99, so a little bit less than MSRP, or I don't know why they would do $5 off. I don't know. Just do 60 or 70, man. Of course, this is a Game of the Year nominee at the Game Awards this year, and that's one I do want to play because of that. I think the game looks good. It's not something I was like dying to play. I've seen it in every showcase known to man for the past like 5 years, I feel like, and it finally came out and it got like, got decent reviews. I think it's like an 80 on Metacritic. There's just so many of these Souls games that I can't keep up. I haven't even finished Elden Ring, let alone Shadow of the Erdtree, let alone Lies of P, which is another game I do want to pick up before that gets a little bit more expensive, and I do want to play that. But Black Myth Wukong, I do think I will be picking up. I don't know if I'll be getting it on release day, Probably not, but this is one that's has been long awaited. It's funny. It kind of parallels what happened with Baldur's Gate last year. Black Myth and Baldur's Gate released in August, I want to say, digitally only. And I think around this time, around December, they got those physical releases out. Maybe trying to get people to double dip. Maybe they just weren't ready with the physical. We'll have to wait and see if everything's complete on the disc. That'd be nice. It says includes a deluxe edition upgrade, so I'm not sure what the the digital deluxe was for this game, but it includes that. And yeah, this is one I'll definitely check out eventually. I don't know if it'll be at full price, but if I could ever get this, maybe like the next Black Friday. You think next Black Friday this will get on the 30? Probably. And at that point, maybe that's when I jump in. But maybe I'll decide to be like, oh, well, I need to try out all these Game of the Year nominees and play it then. But that's probably the biggest release of December, I would say, for PS5 owners if you are a physical collector. We also have Fairy Tail 2. I mentioned in the Switch video, I wasn't sure if this was even coming to PS5 physically. I knew it had a PS4 physical release, but it is getting a PS5 version on December 13th for $59.99 from Koei Tecmo. This is one that I want to play, but also I'm not caught up on Fairy Tail, so I have no business buying this game or playing this game. This follows the canon final arcs of the manga and anime. If you played the first Fairy Tail, someone was saying this in my comments, if you play the first Fairy Tail, that gives you a pretty good idea of the story. Like, it is a following and a retelling of the canon story. It's not like a made up, game specific thing. So in theory, you can play Fairy Tail on PS4 and play Fairy Tail 2 on PS5 and get the full experience. I'm pretty sure that's what people were telling me. And this is a turn-based RPG from Gusty, the people that make Atelier. They look pretty good. I would want to read the manga first before I play these kinds of games, and at the very least play the first game before I play Fairy Tail 2, obviously. But this is one to definitely keep an eye on if you like turn-based RPGs, one of the only anime RPGs releasing on PS5 that month. Then, of course, we have a couple more things here. We have the Dredge Complete Collector's Edition on PS5 for $100 on December 17th. This is including the base game as well as a double-sided poster, a nice kind of really high-quality map, a ruin replica, this little stone thingy here, some coins, a message from the developer in a bottle, which is really cute, and as well as the fish species notebook and the other big collector's box for $100. That's a steep price, but if you're a big Dredge fan, definitely worth checking out. I have not played Dredge. I've heard very good things. Very Dave the Diver-esque, and that you're swimming around on your boat, catching fish, selling the fish, and that kind of that's the gameplay loop there. As is my understanding, but I know Dredge got really good reviews when it came out. I think last year. It also already has a physical release on PS4, I'm pretty sure, or PS5, I should say. This is just this new big collector's edition, which is pretty neat for hardcore fans of that game. We also have Worms Armageddon, another one that I wasn't sure if this was even releasing on PS5, but it is coming out on the same day, December 17th, for $49.99. This is the 25-year anniversary of Worms Armageddon on, I guess, was it on PC, PS1? I'm not even sure. But this is coming out on Switch and PS5 for $50. Includes a double-sided collectible anniversary coin. What is it with special editions and coins? Why are coins such a popular thing? But it includes some Worm stickers, a weapons and utilities guide booklet, a double-sided poster, and 3 exclusive pins. So if you're a big Worms fan, I'm sure you'll be checking out this one on December 17th. And then finally, final PS5 release for December, on December 19th for $39.99, we have from Merge Games, the Thaumaturge releasing. This is one I have not heard of. It says here, the Thaumaturge is an isometric story-rich RPG with a unique take on turn-based combat, character development features, and investigation mechanics, facing you with morally ambiguous choices, set in a world teeming with mysterious powers and strange ethereal beings called saluters. I can't speak. The year is 1905. Warsaw lives under the yoke of Imperial Russian stardom. Its inhabitants constitute a diverse group of different ancestries, views, and beliefs with often conflicting interests. Russian soldiers, Jewish merchants, Polish townspeople, and more. Despite the circumstances, the city is a buzzing metropolis where one can attend a breathtaking party with the high society and later get robbed in one of the dark alleys in the Praga district. A city of great hopes and dreams on one hand and dark desires on the other. This looks really high quality. I don't think it's for me, but I know a lot of people like these types of top-down, very serious, kind of story-driven. It's not a tabletop RPG. It is just an RPG. Kind of reminds me of is it Obsidian? Obsidian does Wasteland. Is it similar to that? That's kind of what I'm getting from these screenshots, but it does have that turn-based combat. Looks pretty good. I don't think it's for me, but that's releasing for $40. And that is it for the physical releases on PS5 in December. A lot of double up from the Switch video, so let me know in the comments down below if you want to see me do this video every single month. Different months will have different games, obviously, on both platforms, so I think this month was a little bit closer to being just overlap. But if you guys like to see this, I can start doing this every month for PS5 as well, and kind of show some love to that side of the collecting community on top of Switch, obviously. I would never stop doing the Switch videos, but if you guys want to see me do this for PS5 moving forward, I can definitely do that. But until next time, folks, let me know if you're planning on picking any of these games up on the PS5. Like I said, Fairy Tail I would like to play, but I probably won't. And if I bought that, I'd probably get it on Switch because I already have the first game on Switch. Black Myth Wukong I want to play, but I might wait for a sale. And then Fantasia, I'm definitely pretty excited for that. But let me know if you're planning on picking any of these games up in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe here for more collecting content, coverage, news, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Check out my Nintendo news channel at BoTalksGames as well. And until next time, folks, peace.